Hi, welcome to the Calgary Zoo's Daily Dose. My name is Valerie. I'm one of the full-time keepers here currently working on penguins. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about some of my favorite penguins. So follow me. So a couple of my favorite birds are our rockhoppers. We have northern and southern rockhoppers. Our two females are southern rockhoppers, our males are northern rockhoppers, and this is my favorite time of year because it is the beginning of breeding season for these guys. So Scarlet here is demonstrating some nesting behavior that'll sometimes look like she's hunched over and shaking her head, and right now she is arranging some rocks, hopefully to set up the perfect nest. Currently Scarlet is with Lovelace. Oh, there she is, doing a little bit of nesting to show off. And next to them we have Ashley and Bella with their nest. In captivity, often we'll use rings around the nests, which will help them to sort of have a little territory. So instead of rings, we're using a little bit of rocks, but you can see they each have their own nest area. For those who have checked out our rockhoppers before, they are all named after Gone with the Wind characters. So here we have Scarlet demonstrating that nesting behavior, and little Belle, she's our smallest penguin at the zoo at about 2.1 kilograms. And then our three rockhopper males are Lovelace, Ashley, and Rhett. Lovelace, I can always tell him apart by the little beauty mark high on his chest. Ashley is a very sociable bird, so you'll often be able to tell him apart because he's always right beside me and making some noise. And Rhett is sort of the man out, and he today is the guy behind Lovelace. But he's often hanging out with them anyways, just perhaps not paired like the other two are. Okay, and here we are with some of the kings. We currently have 17 king penguins. They're the second largest species of penguins in the world. Of our 17 kings, we have 11 boys and 6 girls, ranging in age from 28, our two oldest king penguins, to almost a year old, our two youngest. Diana is a very popular penguin here at the zoo. She is the mother of 3 of our king penguin chicks. Currently, Diana is going through an annual molt, also known as a catastrophic molt. So all penguins every year are going to molt. They're going to lose all of their feathers. First, actually, they will gain some weight over the course of about 2 weeks, usually going from about 11 or 13 kilograms to about 14 to 20 kilograms. Once they gain that weight, they're going to start to molt out all of their feathers. That's going to be where all of the new feathers push out the old feathers, and they'll look a little bit ragged. So Diana is our ragged bird. She's our second last king penguin to go through a molt this year. But hopefully in another week she'll look fresh and clean like most of these other kings have done. So when I talk about my favorites, I have to talk about Napoleon and George. Napoleon is right behind Diana right now, and he just finished molting his feathers in the last few days. So he now has full adult feathers, just like his mom in front of him. So he's right behind his mom, looking a little short right now and much smaller. While he was molting, he went up to about 18 kilograms, and now he's down to about 10 kilograms now that he's done his molt. The one way you can tell him apart, besides his yellow band on his right, is that he'll have mostly a black beak for the next year. So that first year, they're going to have the chick feathers. The second year, they're going to have adult feathers but the black beak, and then later on they'll get the colored beak as they get older. And last but not least, we have George. George is in the back corner right now, and he's kind of fun because he's still finishing his molt as well. He started a couple days before Diana, and he's right near his foster dad, Nero. And George has a lot of personality. He is a very bold bird. He's afraid of nothing and no one. And he went up to over 20 kilograms before he molted. And right now he looks a little bit like Austin Powers, has a little bit of downy feathers on his chest and a bit of a ring around his neck. But I'm expecting in the next couple days he'll be ready to look like an adult bird too. A couple more favorites here at the Calgary Zoo. We have our Gen 2 penguins. We have 13 Gen 2 penguins, 6 boys and 7 girls. So one of my favorite corners here, I kind of think of it as Ray's corner. Ray is one of our older penguins. He has a white toenail on his right, and he's like Uncle Ray. He often doesn't do any nesting of his own or breeding of his own, but he often seems to always hang out by these nesting pairs. So behind Ray, we'll have Giselle and Lachlan, our oldest pair and parents to both Una and Georgia. So this is their corner and has been their corner since the zoo opened. And in front of them is one of their daughters, Una. with her newest partner, Falkland. So we're hopeful these guys make a nice little pair. They are starting to work on their nest. So when a gentoo will make a nest, they're gonna gather small pebbles off the beach and add it to their nest. And it's very cool. They'll often be seen presenting those pebbles to each other. Well, now we are outside with some of my favorite Humboldts. We have 19 Humboldt Penguins, 9 boys and 10 girls. And one of my favorites is right here in front of me. This here is Chico. You can tell Chico apart because he has a little quotation mark right in the middle of his chest. He hatched out here to Maya and Diego in burrow 6 last year, about May 19th. One of my favorite things about Chico is, for some strange reason, a couple of his nails grew longer than everybody else's. So for him, we started doing a little bit of Dremel training. So that's where if he stood still, he would get some fish, and I was able to hold up a Dremel to his nail and shorten them. So I think he's a bit of a genius. So of our 19 Humboldt Penguins here, we are part of an SSP, short for the Species Survival Plan. And the Species Survival Plan works with North American zoos to determine who to breed and how often for a given species based on their genetics. So they want to look at who's related to who, how many offspring have those individuals had, how much space there is in captivity in North American zoos, and what are the long-term goals of that population. So for most of our Humboldts, we have breeding recommendations in general to breed 1 to 2 a year, providing we have enough space for them here at the Calgary Zoo. So last year, that's why we bred Chico and Mateo, and perhaps this year we'll have a couple more. What we do try to do though for our birds is make sure everybody gets a chance. So Maya and Diego and Karina and Esteban had chicks last year. That means we are probably not going to let them have chicks this year, but instead we'll pick some other pairs, just so everybody gets a different chance. Thank you so much for joining us here in Penguins at the Calgary Zoo. I hope you guys learned a lot, maybe made some new friends or saw some old ones, and thank you for supporting wildlife conservation.